This changes everything for Ohio State as head coach Ryan Day has came out and announced that a superstar will be playing at a different position coming up this season, and we got to break it all down. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you are a fan of Ohio State football, hit that subscribe button. We're making videos every single day, all season and all off season long. Let's jump into the news for today. Coming from the 11 Warriors, Jeremiah Smith fair caught a 52-yard punt off the foot of a Longhorn punter, Jack Baumeister, but Smith's usage in the position raised eyebrows nonetheless. Ohio State's head coach Ryan Day said on his weekly radio show Monday that it won't be the last time he gets a chance to return punts in 2025. Ryan Day also said he'll continue to have an opportunity to be back there because we think he gives us something back there, as you can imagine, when the ball's in his hands. We'll figure out game plan wise when he's going to be back there, and we'll keep working on giving him an opportunity and working and grinding to make sure that the guys on the return team set him up well. So very exciting that Ryan Day, head coach, is going out and finding absolutely every single situation where players can fit in and help this team win football games. Jeremiah Smith, while he's fantastic as a wide receiver, he can do even more because that's just the type of prospect, the type of player that this guy is, an absolute physical specimen in Jeremiah Smith. Now getting an extra opportunities just to get the football in his hands, and it makes a ton of sense because he is someone who is so good that you just have to find the way to get the ball into his hands however you can, whether it is screen passes or set up, predetermined reads on offense. But when you have a quarterback in Julian Sayin who only has one start under his belt, maybe on offense, there's just not enough passing plays to give Jeremiah Smith enough opportunities. And that's when you go looking around. Where else can we find Jeremiah Smith the football? Punt returns are a great spot to find it because special teams have the potential to absolutely flip scores of games with touchdowns or just flip the field, make big time plays. Jeremiah Smith is, just thinking about it right now off the top of my head, probably has to be the most dangerous player with the football in his hands in all of college football. And it makes a ton of sense why Ryan Day wants to put Jeremiah Smith back there. He's going to be a difference maker, and you might say that gives him a higher chance of being injured, but Jeremiah Smith is so much more athletic than the guys around him that the injury risk is a little bit lower for him because of how big and strong he is and how wide his shoulders are and how much muscle he already has on his frame. That lowers his chance for injury. And also, like I said, with Julian Sayin, a younger quarterback, he isn't going to be he's not going to get tackled or hit as much playing offense as he will be later in the season. So right now, it's a great idea to use Jeremiah Smith on special teams to just give this team another avenue to absolutely blow games wide open. I know right now we're playing against Grambling State, playing against Ohio. It's not top FBS programs, so we don't need an extra 6 points somewhere from a random special teams touchdown, but you want to have everyone working in at every single position where they can find work to help Ohio State, because that's just what's going to give this team the best opportunity to win. Also, Ryan Day explained more guys who are going to be returning punts for this team, more from the 11 Warriors. Day also indicated that Brandon Inniss, who lined up at punt returner for Texas's other 3 punts and fair caught 2 of them, and Caleb Downs, will continue to rotate with Smith as return men. He said, when you have guys like Brandon Inniss and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith back there, the entire unit believes they can return it. They believe that it can turn into points and can change field position. So we're going to continue to keep working like crazy to give those guys a chance. So, just talk about absolute monsters. What other school can roll out a trio of return men like Brandon Inniss, Caleb Downs, and Jeremiah Smith? Jeremiah Smith, last year's #1 overall recruit, the highest ever rated wide receiver in the history of 24/7 recruiting. Caleb Downs, the #1 recruit out of the transfer portal, going to be a top 5 pick in the upcoming NFL draft, had that awesome punt return for a touchdown last season against the University of Indiana. Brandon Inniss is the guy that maybe less people know about 2023's number 5 wide receiver prospect in the entire country. He comes from Florida. This dude is someone who knows how to find the end zone, knows how to play wide receiver at a very high level, and is someone who really cannot be slept on in the punt return game. I know he's not as exciting or as good as Jeremiah Smith or as Caleb Downs, but do not sleep on Brandon Inniss. He's another elite prospect, maybe more borderline elite. If top Ohio State, we have been absolutely spoiled with elite wide receiver prospects, but for a different team, for a normal team that's not LSU or Ohio State when it comes to wide receivers, Brandon Inniss would be considered an elite wide receiver prospect, being the number 5 ranked wide receiver in the country the year he's coming out. So definitely someone who you can expect huge things in the punt return game, and I can't wait to see how all this stuff is going to shake out versus Grambling State this Saturday. This special teams unit is going to be on a different level just because of the difference in skill level between the Power 4 and then the group of 6 between Grambling State and then Ohio State. Not even going to be close. And I really love what our coach said, Ryan Day said in that last quote about how it's touchdowns and field position, and every single play, everyone on the special teams feels like that play has a chance to take it the distance. It's easy to take plays off on special teams, guys. Sometimes they don't feel like they're going to matter because, maybe the punt is being ran away from them, or they just don't see a guy that they can block. But when everyone is bought in and feels like every single play is an opportunity to score points, that is huge. That means everyone's on the same page, and that just shows the type of culture that has been instilled inside of the locker room for Ohio State. That shows what everyone's just wants to win, and they know exactly how to win. But what's also important is the second thing he said about flipping the field position, because it's not just scoring points. Football is we watched against Texas, it was a field position game. Both offenses were struggling to put up points on the board. That's why it only ended with 21 points. So field position matters. You want to make sure that you are able to return those punts as far as you can. Obviously, super obvious thing I'm saying here, but it's not just, the point I'm trying to make is special teams is not just about scoring points. It's also about flipping the field, making sure you can put your offense in the best position possible and putting your defense also in the best position possible when you are making big plays on punt returns and all that type of fun stuff. But a number 3 punt return, or he's not going to be number 3, but Caleb Downs as the 3rd punt return option is just off the charts amazing. This team, you can't help but be excited. Ohio State, of course, being now back to number 1 in the rankings. We're going to see how this shapes out. Can't imagine anyone before Washington is going to touch Ohio State, but you got to lock into these games and learn what we can learn from them. And everyone in this team, especially the younger guys, have to step up. And when they get their reps, because against the bigger schools, there's going to be less reps for these younger guys. They got to make the most of them, develop as much as they can while we are able to beat up on these worst teams and put Ohio State in the absolute best situation that we can going forward when Big 12 play starts and when those playoffs start. Absolutely can't wait for it. Jeremiah Smith is going to be a beast in the punt return game. So excited for it. If you stuck around and watched this video this long, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And go Buckeyes.